In Fortnite, mechanical skill is undeniably one of the most important fundamentals to master. Yet, despite how crucial it is, most players don't actually understand what makes up great mechanics, and because of that, they practice in ways that builds bad habits. You might be grinding creative, doing edit courses, cranking in free builds for hours, and still not improving. In some cases, you're even getting worse. But the truth is, mechanical skill isn't about how fast your fingers are or how fancy your edits look. It's about control, timing, and efficiency. And the good news, it's 100% fixable. Today, I'm giving you a full breakdown on how to understand your mechanical weaknesses, how to reverse bad habits, and how to structure your training so you actually improve faster. Whether you're in bronze or trying to push into Unreal Division, this is the most important video you'll watch if you want to finally play clean, confident, and fast. Now, before we go deep into mechanics, let me make one thing clear. It doesn't matter how long you've been playing, what input you're on, or even how naturally skilled you think you are. If you don't have a balanced mechanical skill set, you'll always be inconsistent. You might dominate one fight and then completely fumble the next. You might feel cracked and creative, but fall apart in actual ranked games. This usually comes from having major gaps in your mechanics, where you're great at one type of movement, but awful at others. Maybe you got fast tunneling, but you choke under pressure in real fights. Maybe your aim is good, but your piece control is slow. That imbalance is the key issue. It's kind of like being amazing at editing walls, but not knowing how to build a single protective box when someone jumps on your head. So, the first thing we need to do is figure out your strengths and weaknesses. Here are 5 questions you can answer mentally to get a clear picture of where your mechanics stand right now. When you get jumped on mid-fight, can you instantly place a box around yourself without panicking or placing wrong pieces? When you're running at someone, can you consistently place a wall, edit it cleanly, and then piece them up before they react? Are your triple edits or tunneling edits clean under pressure, or do you mess up when someone's actually shooting at you? Can you retake height smoothly and confidently when you lose it during a fight? And finally, when you're low on mats or in a weird spot, can you mechanically adapt and still outplay players? If you answered yes to most of these, your mechanics are probably already strong and well-rounded. But if you said no to even 2 or 3 of them, there's a pretty clear mechanical weakness somewhere in your skill set, and that's what we're going to fix. Now that you've identified where you might be weak, let's break down Fortnite mechanics into 3 categories we need to balance: editing, building, fighting mechanics. And yes, those are all different. Most players practice them all the same way. They hop into an edit course, fly through it, and jump into free builds and crank for an hour. But that's not real improvement, that's just repetition without purpose, grinding without intent. Let's start with editing. These are the 2 types of editing you need to practice. Static editing, which is like doing triple edits or tunneling in piece-controlled environments. This is where you're editing predictable pieces while building, usually in a set course or structure. And then reactive editing. This is editing in response to something happening in game. It could be an opponent spraying your wall, you resetting a piece fast, or pre-editing a cone for a sneaky right-hand peek. If you're struggling to edit fast in real fights, it's probably because you've only been doing static edits. You need to actually improve both. My recommendation, start each session with 5 to 10 minutes of simple edit drills, then move into a reactive warm-up map where opponents force you to make fast choices. There are a ton of realistic training maps for this. Now let's talk about building mechanics. This is all about how fast, accurate, and efficient you are at placing structures under pressure. You can have the best edit speed in the world, but if you can't build the right thing at the right time, like covering your head with a cone, throwing a wall behind you when running, or ramping while turning 180, then you'll never survive long enough to use your edits. Here's a trick I used personally that helped me clean up my builds in real games. Instead of just free building, I set up 1v1 scenarios and creative against friends or in realistic maps. And I forced myself to build only with what I had in the moment. No restarting, no resets. If I scuffed a 90, I kept going. If I missed a cone, I adapted. That trained my muscle memory way faster than just cranking with no pressure. And the third category, fighting mechanics. This is where most players mess up because they think aim is the only mechanical part of fighting. Nope. Fighting mechanics include your crosshair placement, your movement during a shot, your ability to build or edit mid-fight, and your decision making when things get messy. It's about how you move during a fight, when to jump, crouch, fake an edit, or box someone. If you've ever been in a fight where you just panic, place the wrong piece, or take a random 50-50 shot that loses you the game, you've got weak fighting mechanics. The best way to improve here is use creative maps when you fight players in close quarters. Box fight maps, piece control trainers, and especially 1v1 realistic maps. But don't just spam them. Focus each session on one weakness. One day focus only on placing cones. Next session only crosshair placement. Drill like a sport, not like a warm-up. Now, I want to talk about something almost nobody does right. Reviewing your own mechanics. Most players never actually watch their own gameplay unless it's a crazy clip. But the most improvement happens when you look at what went wrong. Record your gameplay, ranked games, creative fights, whatever, and watch it back. Look for mechanical mistakes. Did you panic and misplace a wall? Did you go for a triple edit when you should have just taken a simple shot? Did you overbuild when you could have reset a wall? Those are all mechanical errors. Make a list. Literally write down what you did wrong in 5 fights. Then go into creative and create drills for each one. That's how pros train. That's how you should be training too. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. I actually built a Discord community specifically for Fortnite players who want to improve faster. We've got free resources, VOD review channels, training guides, and other grinders just like you trying to rank up. If you want to stop feeling stuck and start seeing real progress, join it. It's completely free and designed to help you level up 10 times faster. You'll find the invite link in the description, and trust me, once you're inside, you'll just see how much faster you improve when you have people supporting you and keeping you accountable. Now, let's piece everything together into the perfect mechanical training routine. This is what I recommend for players trying to go from mid-tier to elite skill. Start with 5 minutes of warm-up, static edits, triple edits, tunneling, etc. Then do 10 minutes of reactive edits, opponent shooting at your builds, edit and replace drills, etc. Next, 10 minutes of targeted practices. Focus on movement drills and pressure building, high retakes under time pressure. Then 15 minutes of realistic fighting maps or one-on-ones. Focus on one skill, either your crosshair placement, cones, movement shots, or editing. And finally, jump into ranked games with your head in the game. Apply what you trained, don't just do randomly, play with intention. After your session, spend 10 minutes reviewing your gameplay. Pick one mechanical mistake and drill it the next day. Do this consistently and I guarantee you'll start feeling more confident, faster, and more composed under pressure. I've seen players go from stuck in gold, pushing champion rank within 2 weeks just by doing this. You don't need to spend 6 hours a day, you just need to train smart with purpose. One thing that will help your mechanical development skyrocket is learning how to train under fatigue. Most players only practice when they're fresh, but that doesn't replicate real tournament or endgame conditions. Toward the end of a long session or after a few ranked games, when your hands are a little tired and your focus slips, that's the perfect time to test your real mechanical consistency. Try setting a short timer and running through a tight set of drills when you're tired, like quick box fights or reactive edit resets. This not only boosts your mechanics, but it also builds your mental toughness so you don't fold when things get too chaotic. Another major unlock is training with restrictions. Give yourself weird conditions that force you to adapt your mechanics. For example, limit yourself to only one build type during a fight, like no cones or no ramps, and force yourself to win by out-positioning and editing smarter. Or try setting your scroll wheel to a different bind temporarily and see how fast your brain adjusts. These restrictions expose weak spots in your mechanical toolkit that you'd never notice otherwise, and when you return to normal conditions, you'll feel 10 times smoother and more in control. But if you really want to push your mechanical skill to a new level, start adding pressure simulations into your training. What I mean by that is finding ways to replicate the feeling of real stakes, even when you're in creative. Set up 1v1s with friends where the loser has to spectate the next round, or play mini tournaments in your Discord where small rewards or bragging rights are on the line. The added pressure forces you to perform when your nerves kick in, which is exactly what happens in high-stake ranked games. Practicing under those emotional conditions will separate you from 99% of players who only train in comfort. Also, don't underestimate how much your camera control actually affects your mechanics. A lot of players think they're slow because their hands aren't fast enough, but the real issue is that their crosshair and camera movement is stiff or sloppy. Start recording your screen and pay attention to how smooth your camera pans are when editing or building. Are you overshooting when flicking to walls? Are you looking too far up or down during retakes? Good mechanics aren't just about execution, they're about vision and awareness. The more refined your camera movement is, the faster and cleaner your gameplay will feel. So let's recap real quick. Most players don't improve because they're building bad habits without realizing it. You need to balance editing, building, and fighting mechanics to be consistent. Static and reactive editing both matter, so train them both. Building is about placement accuracy and fast reaction, not just flashy cranks. Fighting mechanics are about movement, aim, crosshair placement, and adaptation. And reviewing your mistakes and fixing them deliberately is the fastest way to improve. And finally, don't try to do it all alone. Join the Discord community linked below. That's where the real grinders are. That's where I'm helping players daily. We've got all the resources and it's completely free. If this video helps you or open your eyes to how you've been practicing wrong this whole time, do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe for more guides like this, and comment down below what rank you're currently in. I want to hear where you're at and what you're struggling with. I might even reply with a custom training plan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you all. Peace, guys.